Welcome to Freedom Soapbox.
Freedom Soapbox.
The #1 podcast
for life.
From our perspective. Nnamdi.
They call me Ashley.
It's our take on ally, finance, entrepreneurship, real estate,
psychology, philosophy, our struggles, what's going on in society today, global warming, and of course, what's up with Chuck.
Freedom Soapbox, the one podcast for life.
Freedom Soapbox.
Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. I know him. He's the one who's going to be the forefront.
But why did we get a 4 from that guy of all people? Is what I want to know.
Read it. You can't open it?
Yeah, it doesn't work on my phone. For some reason, the website is just ridiculous. I want to know what he said to give us a 4. And then what did what's her face Meredith say? She gave us the lowest score possible, right? I'm really interested. I'll respond to him in like a bit. Technically, we do have availability, but it depends on where he's going. And then other people may or may not close. It seems like we have like 5 people eyeing us, inquiring about a certain spot, but they all want to go far away, and I doubled the price. So I'm not.
See, it's on the profile, and it's one of these tabs.
Oh, my reviews. There we go. So what do we? Oh, Meredith gave us 2. I thought she would. So it wasn't that bad. I thought she would have given us a 1. Okay, let's see what Meredith says.
It's Tuesday, though.
Oh, you already responded to her? Okay, the RV was a nice size. The communication with the owner was terrible. We had several questions. The passenger window didn't work, which obviously it did because we had a mechanic check it. But okay, there was a half-eaten hot dog and gobs of rice under the pull-out sofa that rolled out the first night we used the pull-out sofa. I still don't understand that. The water hookups didn't exactly fit, so there was water squirting everywhere. We didn't want to waste water, so we filled up the tank. There was a fork lying by the bed in the back that I never touched. It was gross. Whoever used it before must have been very messy. I luckily brought a small vacuum and Lysol wipes and cleaned it as much as I could. I would not rent from this person again. She never contacted me until I called and complained to Outdoorsy. It was not a good. Wow. It's even worse than what she was complaining about to us. The thing is, every time she complained to us, we messaged her back. I don't understand what that was when she keeps saying that, she complained to Outdoorsy, I think just because she wanted to complain to Outdoorsy. She wanted to make a spectacle of the whole thing. Because she's still...
Read my response to it.
Okay. And the other stuff about the hot dog, that's like I kept saying, like a hot dog, and then she never told me about the fork. That was gross.
What was frustrating is that she watched you clean it under the sun. And this is the thanks you get. People are mean, man.
I mean, she could have at least taken, I don't know, whatever. She could have taken photos. And I find it really surprising that she talked about how she cleaned it so well, the best she could. With the small vacuum and Lysol, because it was so dirty when they brought it back, and there was animal hair, and it's against our rules to bring animals. Okay, let me read what she wrote. Okay, beware of this renter. Yes, she made up false claims about our motorhome, presumably to avoid paying additional mileage and cleaning fees or get a refund. Her motive is still not clear. She was advised to keep all communication on Outdoorsy platform and call Outdoorsy for emergency roadside assistance. I responded courteously to all several questions she sent on the Outdoorsy platform. As always, the RV was handed off in pristine condition. She had an opportunity to walk through the RV with me before handoff and sign the forms without raising any concerns. The RV was returned filthy with a full black waste tank and almost 1,000 more miles than originally planned. There was animal hair and mud all over on all the furniture and fabric, requiring professional cleaning. She was also aware of our no pet policy. We always have 2 water hoses in the motorhome. She returned it with one of the hoses cut in pieces. I had our mechanic perform an inspection of the RV, and there was nothing wrong with the window. Our rental history reviews speak for itself. Please ignore. Okay, you got a call coming. Where was I? Our rental history and reviews speak for itself. Please ignore this review. It is not an accurate reflection of our rental. Meredith, you had a responsibility to treat my motorhome with care, and that is not what you did. Please treat other people's property with care. It's the decent thing to do. I remember you said that in like the that like last sentence. That was a good one. But yeah, it was pretty bad. Like the condition that this woman left it in it's never been this bad, to be honest. Like even like the worst, besides Meredith, the worst other two renters that there have been a couple that were annoying, but I mean, other than that, the worst renter we had was Jesse. And even that wasn't that bad. We were just mad at how basically he kind of destroyed the front seats. He made a huge mess, and we had to rent a steam cleaner from Home Depot to get rid of the stains and everything. So it was a problem. But other than that, we thought that they were extra gross and messy and made us work really hard when we cleaned it out. But other than that, I guess it wasn't that bad because it was nothing like Meredith. But so Jesse gave us 4 stars. Okay, but I thought we deserved a 5 because but he probably gave us 4 because we made him pay for the cleaner. He said the RV was surprisingly easy to drive. I thought 32 feet would be too big and uneasy to drive, but it was almost as easy as driving my Honda Civic. Yeah, right. The RV was well kept, and working with Ashley was simple. She was very patient. Was my first experience renting an RV. So that's fine. Very basic. That was cool. Pretty good. I mean, everyone else's reviews have been really good. Oh, that was our first review. What's her face, Sarah, the very first renter we've ever had? We asked her for a review. She even said that she would, and she never gave us one. I mean, I guess she's embarrassed maybe because she ruined the RV.
Well, I respect that she backed up her words. She didn't fight the claims.
Yeah.
I would actually rent to her again.
Yeah, I mean, she was really easy, even though she kind of wrecked the RV and she put us out of she wrecked the RV pretty bad. Actually, she put us out of commission for 2 months. But I mean, other than that, we did, make money off of her. And it wasn't too bad because she was just cooperative. Everything she did wrong, she made it right. Right. So
that's the least.
That's what you want. I mean, if a renter ruins your stuff, at least they don't try to. They just own up to it, and they're cooperative with the insurance company and all that. So that's fine. I'm okay with it. But if you're the Meredith, the exact opposite, you're going to cause problems that are imaginary. They're not even there. I'm thinking that she just wanted money back.
Yeah, her motive is not good.
She wanted to be, she was hoping that we would be like, oh, I'm so sorry, let me compensate you for, these problems that you experienced.
She could also be vindictive and just one of those kind of people that don't like seeing others successful or progress.
That's true. I mean,
you showed up in a Tesla. You have an RV. She probably felt like, who's this girl? Who does she think she is? And this was her attempt to put a dent on your business. There are people like that.
I mean, it could be, but it's like, I don't know. Like, I didn't think she seemed like someone who was like poor and jealous of people who are doing well. But then again, I guess you don't have to be poor to be jealous of people. Definitely did not seem like a have-nots the way that they rolled up. I don't remember what car they were driving, but it was like an SUV, and they both just seemed like those kind of like, they seem like the not wealthy, but like upper middle class type white people living by the beach. So
to make this less about her, the moral of this message is RV rental, just like any business, presents its own challenges. And we've been doing this business now since April of 2019. This is August of 2020. Our experience so far is that most people are decent. Most of our renters, majority of our renters are decent people and take care of our property. But every now and then you get the 1 and 2, you get the Merediths and the Jessies that will malhandle your property and just be terrible people about it too. Meredith went as far as leaving a negative review. So you will have these kind of people, but don't let that deter you because, like I said, the majority of people are decent this is also a profitable business we have found.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's so funny when I think about it because it started off, discussion about buying an RV and renting out, it started off as a joke. And then eventually just turned into something that we actually thought could work.
Yeah, it hasn't been an easy ride. Like you said, it was just a joke where we didn't think we just brought it up and
we
what would
just
it be
brought it
like
out
if we
during a
rented?
shower talk, and we were just like, what if we bought an RV to go visit my mom? Like, and that it was like a Dutch kind of a thing. And then we just were like, yeah, and then we could start renting it out so it can pay for itself, kind of like an Airbnb thing. And then we started thinking that it was going to be a great idea, and I think we got excited about it. And then we just started shopping around for RVs. And then once we got the RV in April, it took us 4 months before we got an actual renter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, we put it on Outdoorsy to try to get renters before we actually picked it up from the dealer. Like, I remember before we actually went down, I actually made our account on Outdoorsy, and I took all the pictures from the website that showed our actual RV, and I saved all those photos, and I used them as like our photos for our profile, for our listing for this RV.
Side note, Outdoorsy is a platform. That's Outdoorsy.com is a platform much like Airbnb, but this is for Airbnb for RVs. Basically, private owners get on this platform and they can rent their RVs to total strangers. Outdoorsy takes its cut, and in return, it's a significant cut. In return, they provide insurance for you and they market your rental for you.
The thing about the insurance is the insurance doesn't even come out of their cut. The insurance is a separate charge that they charge the renter. So it's like they're really taking a significant cut on your...
It's a win-win
profit.
situation for them.
Yeah, it is.
That's the beauty of capitalism. If you can become a gateway, if you can become a middleman to connecting a buyer and a seller, boom, you become the law. You become you can charge whatever you want.
Actually, you're right. You're the law. You're the gatekeeper.
You're the gatekeeper.
And you can do whatever you want, especially when there's a lot of exclusivity in the market.
Oh my gosh. If you're the only one playing, if you're the only guy in that niche.
You make the rules.
Think any gatekeeper that is the de facto, the banks, the PayPals of the world, the Amazons, the Googles, Facebooks. These people have placed themselves strategically to win a lot because they're the only guys, at least are they at the top. Okay. 2, they have so much reach. I mean, think about how much reach Facebook has.
It's
billions,
the whole world.
the entire freaking world. So so the goal really, I think that if you're trying to win big in business, don't even trying to sell
Create your own
to customers,
products.
Creating products and wasting
There's a
time.
lot of work into that.
Just be the middleman. Like they said, during the gold rush, the people who actually made the most money were the ones selling the shovels.
Oh man!
And the tools for
going
digging.
out there looking for gold and trying to win big. Just sell the people the tools to make it happen.
That's a fool's dream to be going
the connector.
to be looking for gold that you're not even sure you're gonna find.
Right.
A lot of people died digging those holes. A lot of people never even actually or even found the gold, and then they fought each other and killed each other over pieces of gold. Right.
Right.
But the people who actually won, they just stayed in the middle, set up shop on the road, and here's a shovel for $15.
Those people were geniuses.
Genius.
Oh my god.
And they sold you the tractors, the bulldozers, they sold
the pans.
They sold the pans, they sold the water containers, they sold the shovels.
Oh.
They made a killing. So keep that in mind whenever you're thinking of a business idea. How can you be the middle person?
Well, what about people who place trades all day versus the brokers, the connectors, the middle guy in there?
The brokerages,
brokers, they make
the
tons of money,
exchanges,
right?
Yeah, like the Nasdaqs of the world, the Coinbase, anybody who's in the middle, any company that's placed itself in the middle, they're the ones making a killing because they don't even have to lift a finger. They just manage that gate. That's it. So if say for
Build
instance,
a tool.
just build a tool and connect people. That's it. So think about Robinhood. Robinhood is an app that when it first came out, people were just skeptical about it. What it does is allows you to be able to buy stocks and ETFs. Basically, it gives you access to the stock market. So, and not before, before that app, the only way to get access to buying to the stock market is to go through big brokerages.
Right.
Sometimes you actually have to pay people, all these individuals who that's their career, they go buy the stocks and they charge commissions and fees for it. These guys got the idea to hop on this internet already and create an app. Robinhood that lets you buy little pieces. You can just spend like $10 and buy a piece of a stock. We're also selling futures. So, and just like that, within recently, they've become a multi-billion-dollar company.
Wow.
They don't own the companies.
And it hasn't even been like too long.
No, they've just been around maybe like, I think it was 2014.
Wow.
6 years. It's not even. So the point is, find a way to be the middle. That's it. If you can find a way, whatever niche that is.
Be a connector somehow.
Be that connector and boom.
And then, yeah.
I think that's what I'm building with Empathy Manor. Empathy Manor is meant to be the gateway.
Yes, for tourism and hospitality.
Renter and the accommodation. The property we don't own, but we're connected, and all we need to do is just keep spending money on marketing to bring the traffic to empathymanor.com. As soon as that traffic gets to a really reasonable point, boom, we can now increase the prices. We can actually list those different hotels in the area, including ours, and mark up the rates.
Other people's short-term rentals.
Yes, just like Airbnb does, just like Priceline does. Their own middleman. That's what Empathy Manor is to become. The middle. Empathy Manor is actually Priceline. It's actually Airbnb in the making.
Ooh.
Week off.
Right. You should be doing my lectures. You're the one.
You can't afford me. Not on those pennies you make. Recording?
It wasn't recording because you got into your patients, and then, I mean, when you're talking about your patient's background and what you're learning from it, I think that's really good to discuss, but obviously patient information, not so much. But yeah, like, okay, get into this. Like, you said that your patient, he has this understanding that we're all from the same source. We are all, like, how did you put it? We're all one. There's no such thing as racism. I mean, there's racism, but
so
there's no such thing as different races.
I have to go back to the context, because the context was important.
Okay.
The context is important. This gentleman, he's facing a poor prognosis because he has cancer and it's metastasizing. So he's undergoing chemotherapy, and he's aware of his outlook. Okay, and throughout my visits with him, what I take away is his calmness in the face of chaos, because I'm sure you understand that this is a period of chaos. This should be a period of chaos in anybody's life if they're undergoing a terminal illness. But he's calm. And he's calm because I attribute it to all his years in the military. And throughout his career in the military, he was also in positions of authority. He had people reporting to him and people who he reported to. He also had high secret clearance because he tells me about people who he reported to in DC. So what I appreciate is his calmness in the face of chaos. That he also has a good understanding with humanity, our relationship with each other. He knows that human beings, we're all the same. We're all the same. We are all creations of God. We're all manifestations of God. And there's no such thing as race. Race is there's something more sinister going on that is responsible for our present reality where we're in conflict with each other. I don't have the explanation for it. And he understands that. And he also understands the fact that there's a lot of we're not moving. Technology hasn't moved in the pace that it should have because of entrenched interests and people who are entrenched powers that want to keep the status quo. Mm-hmm. You understand that? Yeah. I spend a lot of time with him, and to me, the time that I spend with him, while therapeutic because it allows me to have somewhat of normalcy in my day instead of just sitting in the car on the tarp, I actually have an opportunity to sit with what I would consider a knowledgeable, articulate man. It's like it allows me to live vicariously through him. When he tells me stories about his time in Germany on the base, recants all those experiences from me. It's like it gives me an opportunity to live through him and see what his eyes saw, and also put things in perspective. That this man, when he was young, but who's my age, in his 30s, he had the same struggles and the same concerns that I currently have. And now he's at his final stage in life. I'm trying to imagine how I would be in his shoes, because understand that he worked hard, he earned what he has.
Yeah.
He married, he had children, his children had children, his grandkids call him. So he's lived that quote unquote full circle middle class life. You know what I mean? He wasn't super wealthy, he wasn't born into wealth, but he worked his way up and he retired. He built, he raised a family, he retired, and now he's on his final years, he's happy. That's the ideal situation. Him and his wife are not enemies. They get along. They actually talk.
They actually talk.
They watch the same shows.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. It's something that me being more than how many like 4 decades younger than him, it just makes me wonder. Wow, we're just here for a very short time.